Hello, my name is Rossella and today I'm going to do chapter 2 in this book. If you haven't done it yet, click on the red button there and subscribe to my channel to be the first one to watch my next video. You can find me on Facebook, Theory Virtuoso, or Instagram, Theory Virtuoso. You can also visit my website, theoryvirtuoso.com, where you can see all the videos that I publish. There are music theory videos to help you revise or improve your knowledge, tutorials on discovering music theory or grades, sample exam papers, musical quizzes to test your knowledge, and piano tutorials to boost your piano performance too. Thank you for watching. Bye! The second chapter is dedicated to time signatures. And the first exercise asks us to answer the questions. After looking at this bar, we have one minim, two crotchets and another minim. What type of beat is used in this rhythm? Well, we have 6 crotchets, but in fact we have 3 minims. 1, 2 and 3. And when we consider the minims as the orientation value, the measure value for our counting, the denominator of our fraction, time signature, called time signature, would be 2, because 2 relates to minims. So here it is, minim. So we have 3 minims in this bar. And how many beats are in the bar? 3. So what's in the end, what's the time signature of this bar? 3 halves. Now, it can be 4 halves because we need 4 minims for this. It can be 3/4 because we only need 3 crotchets, and in this case there are twice as much. And it can be 4/4 because we need 4 crotchets for that, like this. So it can't be. The only time signature that might confuse us here would be 6/4, because 6/4 will be 3 crotchets plus 3 crotchets. But in this case, we don't have this option. And I think in grade 2, you don't even have to know this. So never mind now, let's move on to exercise 2. Here we need to circle the correct time signature of the given bars. So in this case we have 1, 2 and 3 minims. So if we look at our options here, they say 2 halves, 3 halves, 4/4, 4/2, 4 halves. Now we know that we're counting in minims here because, again, if we want to count in crotchets, we would have 2, 4, 6 crotchets, and we don't have any 6/4 here. So don't consider this at all. Let's look at the bar from above without thinking too much and being guided, in fact, by our eyesight. We will see 3 items here. And so how many minims do we have? 2, 3 or 4? And we have 3 minims. So the answer here is 3 halves. In this bar here we have 1 crotchet, 2 crotchets and other 2 crotchets. Now this could be either 2 halves, so 2 minims, or 4/4. In this case we have no difference. So let's see our options. We don't have 4/4, but we have 2 halves. So the answer is 2 halves, which means 2 minims in a bar. Now, why the denominator 2 indicates the minims? Because the minim, the fraction of a minim is 2/4, and if you simplify it, dividing both numbers by 2, we have 1/2. So the minim is a half. Okay, and this is why 2 relates to minim. Now we can't use 4 because 4 already indicates crotchets. In fact, when we have 3/4 or 4/4, we have 4 crotchets in a bar, 3 crotchets in a bar, and so forth. So 4 is really 4 crotchets. We needed to find another number. So by simplifying this fraction, dividing it by 2, we find 1/2, which is exactly what the minim is the half of a whole, is half of the semibreve. I hope that this makes sense. If I talked too quickly, go back and then listen to it again. I've said a lot, considering that I've said a lot, assuming that you know already what I'm talking about, but if you don't, please let me know and I will explain it more slowly. So here we have 2 minims. Now let's have a look at here. We have the same as here, 1, 2, 3, 4 crotchet, 1, 2, 3, 4 crotchet. So we can have either 4/4 or 2 halves. Now I've said that without looking at the options. So now we look at the options and we see what we have. 3/4 can't be, 3 halves it can't be, 2 halves, this is half common time, and 4 halves. Now 4 minims it can't be because we don't have 4 minims, but we have just 2. So this is 2 halves, and this is exactly what it says. So half common time. Last one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 minims. This is either 8/4, which in grade 2 you don't need to know about, or 1, 2, 3, 4 minims. 1, 2, 3, 4 minims. So the answer here is 4 halves, which means exactly 4 minims in a bar. 4/4 is not correct because we would just need to have half of the bars. So this would be 4/4, this would be 4/4. 3 halves it can't be either because we need 3 minims, and 2 halves also can't be because we need only 2 minims. So these two are the same. What is different is the movement. The conductor would count 1, 2 in 2 halves, 1, 2, 3, 4 in 4/4. 2 halves usually indicates a faster speed, okay, because basically it's half of 4/4. So we compress everything in a shorter time. So the music should be played faster. I mean, it was the ancient way of saying fast. That's a long story though. I don't want to confuse you now. Let's move on to exercise 3. Here we have lots of bars with their time signatures, and we need to add 1 note to complete the bar and indicate the beats. So 3 halves means 3 minims. So let's find 3 minims. 1 is here. 1 note. This is important. Why? Because I need 1 minim here. Okay, and 1 minim could be made of 2 crotchets, 4 quavers, or any combination. But I need only 1 item. So 1 minim. And the beats are 1, 2, and 3. Every start of the new minim. This is half common time, so 2 halves, which means 2 minims. To understand and be sure about what you're going to say, just exchange this 2, number 2, with minim. So 2 minims, okay? In this case, it's still 2 minims. They are the same. Same thing. Why did they do this? Because it was easier. It was quicker. So C would be 4/4. A C with a line through would be 2 halves. Okay, 2 minims. 1 is here and another one is here. Now we need to add 1 note. We could add other 2 quavers, but we need 1 note. So 1 crotchet. As for the counting, 1 and 2. So in the counting, you need to reach the top number of the fraction. Here we need to reach 4, in fact. Okay, we have 1 minim here. Let's write it down straight away. 1 minim here. Now we need one note that covers 2 counts, 3 and 4. And this note is the semibreve, because the semibreve is 2 minims. So it covers 2 counts. Does it make sense? Please let me know. You know that I always read your comments, guys, and I love them also. Message me, email me, go and find me on Instagram, comment my posts, go on Facebook, Theory Virtuoso, reach out. 4 minims. 1 is here. 1 is here. Okay, this is 1 minim. A crotchet plus another crotchet. We need another minim here because this is also a minim, so this is 4. So this minim here, I can put the number on. For this minim we already have 1 crotchet, so we need another crotchet because remember, we need to add 1 note only. 2 minims. We have 1 crotchet and 1 crotchet. Now in this case, this is interesting because we must add 1 note, and this 1 note must make up this count and this count. So if we put a minim, this will make up a crotchet for this count and a crotchet for this other count. Okay, here we formed something very interesting. This is called syncopation. A syncopation occurs when a longer note or a series of longer notes are between 2 shorter notes. Now, I remember when I was a student, I learned this by heart, but I didn't really know the meaning of this. Well, the meaning was that the music, so what's the principle of that? What is the reason why a composer would use a syncopation? And to be honest, I can tell you now that it's very, very frequent in music. Well, it's because the syncopation pushes the music forward. Da 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 da. So the music would skim even more than usual. Now about this skimming, if you're one of my students, you know what I'm talking about. But the music is never like 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's always skimming 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Otherwise, we go backward. If we don't skim, we go backwards. If we skim, we go in time. So da 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 da. Never da 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 da. In the case of the syncopation, we skim even more. So we don't really touch. We don't even touch the water surface as we do when we skim. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. It's flying. The music is really flying, so it's pushed forward. I know maybe this doesn't make sense in grade 2, but remember what I'm saying here. And you can always message me when you find syncopation in one of the pieces you're playing. Email it to me and I will explain it better. Please do, that's very important. We are learning theory to improve our playing in the end. Let's not forget about it. 3 minims, it means that we need to get to 3 minims. Now here I'm a bit confused, so what do? I start from the end. There is 1 minim here, which should be number 3. There is another minim here, which should be number 2. Ah, it's clear now. I just need a minim. So here it is. Four halves means 4 minims. We have 2 here. So 1, 2. Now, number 3 starts here. Let's see where it ends. This is one crochet and this is the other crochet. So we have another minim here, and we need, well, it's half of the minim and we need the other half. And here it is. Sorted. I hope this was clear, guys. Let me know. And for now, I shall move on to exercise 4. In exercise 4, we have pieces of music and we need to write the time signature and indicates the beats. Okay, we need to count the minims here. This, it's clear that it is in minims. So we have, look, 1, 2, 3 minims. Now, what is the time signature that indicates that? 3 minims is 3 halves. Also, this is a very famous song. Da dun dun da di da di da da dun dun dun. It's a very famous song. Let's do the beating. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. The last minim rest. Next one. How many minims? This is what it means. Okay, let's see. One is here and another one is here. Now, if you don't remember that 4 quavers equals 1 minim, you can always go backwards and say, like, okay, 2 quavers equals 1 crochet. So we have 2 crochets here equals 1 minim. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 2 halves. This could have been written also this way, a C with a line through. Next one. How many minims? Okay. Oh, that sounds complicated. Well, what I'm doing, maybe I'm going backwards and forwards. So 4 quavers equals 1 minim. This should be the last count. 2 crochets equals 1 minim. And then we have 1 crochet and another crochet made up of this dot plus this quaver. So how many do we have? 3. And by the way, here guys, when you have a dotted knot, pair up the dot with the value that is next in the sequence. We have semibreve, minim, crochet, quaver, semiquaver, and so forth, and pair it up with the next one in the list, the shorter one. So 1, 2, 3, we have 3 minims. Let's count here. This is the same. So 1, the same, 2, and 2 crochets, 3. Sorted. Is this piece in minims, in crochets? Let's see. I see 1 minim here, 1 minim here, and another minim here. Now this could be also 6 crochets. So 6/4. You don't know this time signature yet, but because we have a 3 here, obviously this is 3 halves, 3 minims. So we count in minims. 1, 2, and 3. 1 dot paired up with the next value in the list. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. Done. Last one. How many minims do we have? Well, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yay. 2, 3, and 4. 1. Now 2, they go together. 3 and 4. 1, 2, they go together. 3 and 4. Okay, this is a semibreve. Now they say here, remember blah blah blah, but a semibreve is 2 minims. Then the dot is another minim, and then we have a minim rest. Here it is. Okay, semibreve, 2 minims, the dot, another minim, and the rest, the last minim. Are you happy? Exercise 5. A new time signature is the one that has 8 at the bottom. Now we said that 2 means minims, 4 means crotchets, and 8 means quaver, because a quaver is 1/8. So this is why 8 is indicates the measure value of quavers. 1, 2, and 3. Now here we need to add a note. So this is 1 quaver, okay, so that must be the last beat of the bar. We need 1 and 2, and which value, which note contains 2 quavers? The crotchet. So a crotchet that lasts for 2 quavers, and another quaver here. In this next one we need to add a rest instead. So let's go from the end and then let's calculate. We need to reach 3 quavers here. So we have 1 quaver here, 1 quaver here, and we need just 1 quaver rest here. So here it is. In the next one we need to add 1 note. Again, they said to complete it with 1 note only. So the first beat is here with a quaver. Then we need a note that covers 2 quaver beats. And so that's another crotchet. Now on the last one we need 3 quavers, right? So we have 1 quaver made up of 2 semiquavers, another quaver made up of 2 semiquavers, and then the last quaver here we need another semiquaver rest, they say. So here it is. 2 flags, 2 flags, 1 flag, 1 flag here. Remember this is there is also a note that has 3 flags, and so the rest will have 3 flags, and there is a note that has 4 flags, and the rest will have 4 flags. Easy peasy. Exercise 6. In this exercise we need to add the missing bar lines. 4 minims. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bar line. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The bar line needs to go from the last top line until the bottom line. Don't do it like that. Okay, this is really untidy. In the conservatoire, we are asked to use the, oh, I really messed it up now. Sorry. We were asked to use the ruler to be very neat. So remember that. Don't be like, you will never find this in a manuscript or on a music paper. The bar lines are always tidily written. How many minims? 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why am I doing also this? That is the last one, because if this is wrong, I might have done something wrong beforehand. So I just double check. And so you should do too. Let's move on to the next one. We need 3 minims. So 1 is here, okay? 1 crotchet and the other crotchet. Use your eyesight to, spot it immediately, okay? So 1 minim, 1 minim, and 1 minim, bar line. 1 minim, 1 minim, another minim. 4 quavers equals 1 minim because 2 of them makes a crotchet. So 2 crotchets. 1, 2 and 3. Grouping is important. 1, 2 and 3. And now, according to the previous ones, even if we know that this piece by Mozart isn't finished, we can put the double bar line because it's finished for us here. 2 minims here. 1 and 2. Bar line. 1, 2. Bar line. 1, 2. Grouping, yeah? Grouping is important. 1, 2. Sorted. 3/8. 1, 2 and 3. 3 quavers, okay? 1, 2 and 3. 3 quavers. 3 quavers and 1, 2, 3, 3 quavers. Now please note the grouping here. We wouldn't even have to count, to be honest, because every bar has its notes beamed together, so we wouldn't even have to count. However, this is a tutorial, so I'm counting. Please bear in mind that when we sight read and when we play, we don't really count like we do with a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. We just go for it, and this is the purpose of using our eyesight to be more fluent. 2 minims. Remember, this is 2 halves. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Perfect. And this is a gorgeous piece by Beethoven for cello and piano. Amazing. Da dee da da dee da dee da da dee dum dee da bum bum bum. I love it. Go and listen to it on YouTube. It's amazing. 3/8, 3 quavers. So let's use our eyesight now. 1, 2, 3. Another group. Another group. Another group. And this goes all together. So as you can see, by using the groupings, we sorted out this bar very quickly in a very fluent way, exactly as we would do if we were playing this or sight playing this. Okay, last one. 3 minims. 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3. Bar line. And this is incomplete. That's fine. We can't put the bar line here because we have just 1 minim. And it doesn't exist. A time signature with 1 minim doesn't exist, first of all. Second, in a piece of music, we must be consistent unless stated otherwise. So for example, if there is a change of time signature here, we could change our beating accordingly. But otherwise, we keep the same beating, and this is a must. Absolutely. We can't really not do this. And if you're happy, let's move on to exercise 7. In this exercise 7, we need to complete the sentences by circling the right option. So, to rewrite a 3/4 rhythm in 3 halves, the crotchet become, okay, 3 and 3 are the same, so the beating is the same. But the crotchet becomes minims. So this is the answer. The crotchets become minims. Here it is. Quavers, it's impossible because we would have 8 here. And semibrevi also is impossible because we would have 1 here. But I don't think you know this time signature at the moment. But it does exist, yeah. It's rare, but it does exist. To rewrite a 2/2 rhythm in 2/4, the minims become crotchets. We know now the meaning of this. This means crotchet. Not semibrevi because we would have 1, and not quavers because we would have 8s. And by the way, 2/8 doesn't exist. To rewrite a 4/2 rhythm in 4/4, all the time values are, minims. 4 minims become 4 crotchets. So they are halved. Because a crotchet is half of a minim, so they are halved. Doubled would mean that 4 halves become 4/1. 4 semibrevi. A quaver beat is used in the time signature of, well, we need to find a time signature that has 8 as the lower number. So this is the answer. 3/4, no, because this means crotchets. 4/2, no, because this means minims, and this means quavers. So yay. To rewrite a 3/8 rhythm in 3/4, the quavers become crotchets. 8 becomes 4, so quaver becomes crotchet. To rewrite 2/4 in 2/2 means that the crotchets become minims. Here it is. Not quavers because we need an 8, and again 2/8 doesn't exist. Not dotted semibrevi because that time signature doesn't exist either. So the only possible option here would be the minim. And with this, we have finished our exercise 7. I understand that this could be a little bit confusing, but you would need to think of the order of the time values. So semibreve, minim, crotchet, and quaver. If we go up, we double. If we go down, we halve. So yeah, that's it. And the bottom number gives us the value that we use for counting. So would it be a semibreve, but in this grade 2 you don't know it. Not even in grade 5 you should know this time signature, so exclude it. Do we have minims? So 2. Do we have it in crotchets? So 4. Or do we have it in quavers? So 8. Okay, if you substitute the number with the value or the value with the number, you can answer these questions very easily. Okay, exercise 8. In this exercise we need to tick a cross to show whether the given pieces have been correctly or incorrectly rewritten twice the value. So it means that we go up in the scale. So 3/4 should become 3 minims, and the time signature is correct. Now let's see if all the values are also changed into twice as much. The crotchet will become a minim, 2 quavers, 2 crotchets, 1 crotchet, 1 minim. Yes, the minim would become a semibreve. Yes, the crotchet and minim. So here you need to just do this, guys. You need to consider this. That's it. Okay, so you go up every time you go upwards. So a minim becomes a semibreve. Yeah, a crotchet would become a minim. 3 crotchets, 3 minims. So this is correct. Excellent. The next one is 2/4. Now 2/4 twice the value should become 2 halves, and here it is. Yes, because we go up. Now the quaver becomes a crotchet. Yes, 2 semiquavers there are here would become 2 quavers. Yes, a crotchet becomes a minim, and here it is. So all correct so far. 2 quavers become 2 crotchets, and here they are. 1 crotchet becomes 1 minim. And what's going on here? We have 1 crochet, there should have become 1 minim, and the rest as well. So they changed the rhythm here. And this is incorrect. We're not allowed to. We need to keep the rhythm the same. That's it. I hope this is clear. Let me know it if not. Shall we do the challenge? I know that you want me to, so let's do it. Okay, in this challenge we need to write the pieces twice the value, but they've started it, so that's good. Let's remember, I'm going to write it here, the order of the values. This is paramount. Okay, let's assume that this is correct. The minim becomes a semi-breve. Now watch out, you need to maintain also the same pitch, otherwise we change the melody. So 4 quavers become 4 crotchet. So crotchet, 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 crotchet. The minim become a semi-breve. The crotchet becomes the minim. And a crotchet rest, a minim rest. Here it is. It wasn't that difficult with this, was it? I hope so. I'll give you the best tips, guys. Do you like my tips? Let me know. Leave me a comment, leave a like, send these videos to your friends. Spread the words out. Thank you very much. 3/4 should become 3/2, and here it is. Now this bar is correct. Minim, semi-breve, and crotchet, minim. Now 2 crotchets would become 2 minims, keeping the pitch the same. 2 quavers become 2 crotchets, so here it is, 1 and 2. Now here the stem of this note could be either up or down, because the note that has 2 lines above, 2 lines below, therefore it's written in the middle of the stave, can choose whether to have the stem down or up, but keeping the rule no barbecue in music, so no B, no Q, but D and P, safe. So I'll put it up, just to keep it consistent with the previous ones. 2 quavers would become 2 crotchets, so here they are. And 1 crotchet would become 1 minim. Same with the rest. 2 bar lines are already in, so sorted. Here it is, guys. I hope you did it like me. Exercise 9. We need to do the same as the previous page, but half the value. So we need to tick across to show that the second bar is the previous bar correctly rewritten or not correctly rewritten, half the value. 3/4 becomes, okay, let's write it here. 3/4 would become half the value, would become 3/8. Yes, so far correct. 3 crotchets become 3 quavers. The another crotchet will become another quaver. What's going on here? This is incorrect. And the correct version would be quaver, 2 semiquavers here, and another quaver here. So this is the correct version of it. And then this would have been correct. Yeah, but this part makes it incorrect. 4 halves would become 4 fourths, 4 crotchets, and here they are. 2 crotchets become 2 quavers. A minim becomes 1 crotchet. A semibreve becomes 1 minim. Yes. 2 quavers become 2 semiquavers. And all these crotchets would make it quavers. And the minim would be a crotchet. Correct. This is all correct. Also the grouping is correct. Look, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Perfect. Last one. 3 minims would become 3 crotchets, so 3 fourths. And here it is. Now, 2 crotchets, 2 quavers. A dotted minim would be a dotted crotchet and plus itself, so a quaver. 2 crotchets, 2 quavers. 1 semibreve, 1 minim. 1 semibreve should become 1 minim, and this is incorrect. This should be a minim. And this should be a crotchet. So they are basically upside down, sort of. The other way around. Incorrect. Do you agree, guys? Are you happy? Okay, let's do the challenge to finish this chapter. Here we need to rewrite the melodies, half the value, so same as we did before, but the other way around. Let's write the sequence of values because I think it is very handy. Okay, this is correct. Now, 2 crotchets. Remember, we need to go down half. Okay, so down. 2 crotchets become 2 quavers. So keeping the pitch the same, always making sure that we keep the pitch the same, and we are very tidy as well. I'm not fully tidy here, but I can do it again. One minim becomes 1 crotchet. And 1 minim again, 1 crotchet. Okay, that's it. Another minim, another crotchet. And a semibreve becomes a minim. Here it is. Done. Let's go on to the next one. 3 fourths would become 3 eighths. Yes, with 3 quavers. So this is correct. Now a dotted crotchet would become a dotted quaver. We need to do the beaming here, and a crotchet would become a quaver. So here we would have, let's do this. 1 line and a dot here and a semi-quaver here, because a quaver becomes a semi-quaver, and we need to beam all of them together. We have 3 crotchets here. They would become 3 quavers. Now you can write this in this way, or with the beam above the quaver rest. It doesn't really matter. The difference is just a choice of the editor, which is you in this case, the writer basically. So it's the same. A dotted minim becomes a dotted crotchet. Here it is. Sorted, finished. With this challenge, we finished the second chapter of this Grade 2 Discover Music Theory book. I hope it was useful, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye bye. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it was useful, and don't forget to share it with your friends. If it was useful for you, it will be useful for other people too. As I'm here, I'd like to thank all those who messaged me and emailed me telling me about their music life or the music experience or music theory exam. And a huge thank you to all those who told me that thanks to my videos, they gain confidence or a distinction at their music theory exam. Thank you so much. This makes me so happy. Now, if you want to find another chapter of Discover Music Theory Grade 2, you'll find it here. Thank you.